After another week of strong earnings, or at least strong company stock reactions to earnings reports last week, we are noting a lot of stocks that people are known to kind of go to from a trading perspective are starting to look very frothy from a near-term angle. And so I thought I would take a minute to kind of go through a couple of these names. And the exercise here isn't for you to necessarily go out there and just blindly short these stocks because they're short-term overbought, but to be aware that if you're looking to buy a stock, make sure you understand where it is trading, both in the bigger picture, in the intermediate picture, and of course also in the short term, if that's your focus. So let's have a look at this. And just so you guys know, what we are using to find these record or very short-term overbought readings is one of our proprietary indicators called the vertical X-bar indicator. And so what it does is it looks for extremities and moves, not just a little overbought or a little oversold, but really extremely overbought. So let's start off with, I have 4 different names I want to quickly go through. We'll start off with Overstock.com, ticker symbol OSTK. And what we're looking at here, is a multi-year weekly chart. A couple of things I want to draw to your attention. First of all, we are more or less right back at the record highs, and we got there more or less in a straight shot, so the odds of breaking higher from here is virtually impossible, barring a major, purchase, takeover by the company, which, famous last words, who knows if that could happen, but all else being equal, very overbought from a momentum perspective. And I'm going to go through this exercise. We're going to go into the short-term and the long-term charts. And from a short-term perspective, you can see the stock is now trading above about 35% above its 21-day moving average. So Overstock OSTK to us looking very overbought. A name that people probably know from a in terms of headlines and so on and so forth is AMD. And by the way, none of these are bad companies just because they're short-term overbought. They're just speaking very overbought in the short term. This is your long-term multi-year chart. You can see the stock has gone vertical after earnings and is, from a momentum perspective, also notably overbought. You go into the daily chart and you will notice here too, you're looking at a stock that's currently trading about 20% above its 21-day moving average. Again, very, very notably stretched. And by the way, just to be clear, the indicator, the proprietary measurements we used are not based on a moving average. They're based on a bunch of other quantitative factors, but I'm trying to give you sort of the other way of looking at it, what constitutes overbought here, just so you can kind of get your head around this. So that's AMD and OSTK. Qualcomm, also a name that I think a lot of people are well aware of. I actually really like this name long term, but if you look at it through the lens of a longer term chart here too, you can see we actually broke to new highs on the long term weekly chart. We're getting overbought on the short term daily chart. Here you are looking at a stock that is currently, as it stands, trading about 13-14% above its 21-day moving average. Not as stretched as the others, but it also historically hasn't traded a whole lot more than that above its 21-day moving average. And lastly, and by the way, these were in no particular order, but let's lastly quickly look at a stock called UPS, package delivering, of course, which makes a lot of sense why they're doing well right now with everything being online. Here you're looking at a stock that you can draw the lines potentially something like this, and you could make the argument that this has now reached the upper end of its trend, and so if this is your longer term trend, you've reached the upper end of it. And if you go into the daily chart, you can see here too, you're looking at a stock that is very, very overbought from a momentum perspective, and through the lens of it's above its 21-day moving average is about 14-15% above its 21 days. So there you have 4 different names, 4 different stocks: OSTK, Qualcomm, QCOM, UPS, and AMD, that we think are short-term very overbought. Again, does not mean that any of these stocks have to completely fall apart. It just means that from where we sit, we probably wouldn't be buying these stocks for more than a very, very quick trade. So short-term overbought. Hope it helps, folks. And if you enjoy this, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and spread the word. Take care.